How to learn to program in C. C is one of the older programming languages. It was developed in the 70s, but it is still very powerful thanks to how low level it is. Learning C is a great way to introduce yourself to more complex languages as well, and the knowledge you gain will be useful in almost every programming language and can help you get into app development. To learn how to start programming in C, see step 1 below. Download and install a compiler. C code needs to be compiled by a program that interprets the code into signals that the machine can understand. Compilers are usually free, and different compilers are available for different operating systems. For Windows, try Microsoft Visual Studio Express or MinGW. For Mac, Xcode is one of the best C compilers. For Linux, GCC is one of the most popular options. Understand the basics. C is one of the older programming languages, and can be very powerful. It was designed for Unix operating systems, but has been ported and expanded for nearly all operating systems. The modern version of C is C++. C is essentially comprised of functions, and in these functions you can use variables, conditional statements, loops to store and manipulate data. Examine some basic code. Take a look at the very basic program below to get a good idea about how some of the various aspects of the language work together, and to get an idea of how programs function. The hash include command occurs before the program starts, and loads libraries that contain the functions you need. In this example, stdio.h lets us use the printf and getter functions. The int main command tells the compiler that the program is running the function called main and that it will return an integer when it is finished. All C programs run a main function. They indicate that everything inside them is part of the function. In this case, they denote that everything inside is a part of the main function. The print function displays the contents of the parentheses on the user's screen. The quotes ensure that the string inside is printed literally. The \n sequence tells the compiler to move the cursor to the next line. The denotes the end of a line. Most lines of C code need to end with a semicolon. The getter command tells the compiler to wait for a keystroke input before moving on. This is useful because many compilers will run the program and immediately close the window. This keeps the program from finishing until a key is pressed. The return 0 command indicates the end of the function. Note how the main function is an int function. This means that it will need an integer to be returned once the program is finished. A 0 indicates that the program has performed correctly, any other number will mean that the program ran into an error. Try compiling the program. Enter the code into your code editor and save it as a C file. Compile it in your compiler, typically by clicking the Build or Run button. Always comment on your code. Comments are part of the code that is not compiled, but allows you to explain what is happening. This is useful for reminding yourself what your code is for, and for helping other developers who might be looking at your code. To comment in C, place at the start of the comment and at the end. Comment on all but the most basic parts of your code. Comments can be used to quickly remove parts of your code without deleting them. Simply enclose the code you want to exclude with comment tags and then compile. If you want to add the code back, remove the tags.